Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We are diving into something absolutely fascinating today, the undeniable link between what we put on our plates and exactly how our brains age. For a long time, we've thought of nutrition mostly in terms of waistlines and heart health, right? But the science is now pointing incredibly clearly straight to the brain. We're going to decode the science of nutrition and cognition, and specifically, we're going to look at a groundbreaking nutritional blueprint that is completely changing how we think about brain health. So let me ask you this right off the bat. Does your food actually control your memory? It is so easy to fall for the myth that cognitive decline is purely genetic, that it's just the luck of the draw or some inevitable part of getting older. But recent scientific literature is telling us a completely different story. It turns out that your daily food choices act directly as the control panel for your cognitive longevity. Nutrition is absolutely key to protecting your mind. Here is our roadmap for today. 1. Brain energy and cognitive processes. 2. Nutrients to boost synaptic plasticity. 3. What is the mind diet? 4. Foods recommended for regular consumption. And 5. Foods that harm brain health.
Section 1. Brain energy and cognitive processes.
All right, I want you to think of your brain like a high-performance sports car engine. Even though it's relatively small compared to the rest of your body, it literally hogs a disproportionately massive amount of your body's energy. And where does all that energy come from? Well, it comes straight from the transfer of energy from the food you eat right into your neurons. To keep this incredibly complex engine running without sputtering out, you need premium fuel. And that premium fuel includes your macronutrients, your carbs, fats, and proteins, but also absolutely crucial micronutrients. If the fuel quality drops, well, the engine's performance drops right along with it.
Which brings us to synaptic plasticity. Simply put, this is your brain's amazing ability to encode new memories, learn new skills, and basically adapt to new information. But here's the catch. This entire process relies heavily on proper, nutrient-driven energy management right there inside your neurons. So if you've got a metabolic issue, or honestly, if you just aren't eating enough of the right vitamins, you directly disrupt this memory-building process. You are literally starving your brain's ability to adapt and remember. It's wild.
Section 2. Nutrients to boost synaptic plasticity.
So what are these premium fuels? Here are the essential brain-boosting nutrients and the everyday foods where you can easily find them. First up, omega-3 fatty acids, which you can grab from salmon and flaxseed. Then we've got the absolutely critical B vitamins, specifically B1, B3, B9, and B12. Research highlights that a deficiency in these severely impacts cognition, but the good news is you can find them in whole grains, lean beef, and dairy. For choline, lutein, and zeaxanthin, you'll want to load up on colorful and green veggies. And for those healthy fats and proteins, things like peanut butter, nuts, and seeds are fantastic. See? We're taking theoretical neuroscience and walking it straight down the grocery store aisles.
Section 3. What is the mind diet?
Okay, so MIND actually stands for Mediterranean-Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. Quite a mouthful, right? Basically, it is a brilliant mathematical combination of two super highly respected diets, the Mediterranean diet, which we all know is famous for overall health and longevity, and the DASH diet, which was specifically designed to stop hypertension. Now, while both of those are great for general health and definitely improve cognition, neither of them was specifically engineered to slow down neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. So researchers had a light bulb moment and decided to combine the absolute best parts of both.
This whole concept was developed by a nutritional epidemiologist named Martha Claire Morris, along with her team at Rush University Medical Center. And let me tell you, they didn't just guess here. They anchored this dietary blueprint in hard, rigorous science. Their research proved that the MIND diet is actually way more effective at reducing and slowing cognitive decline than just following the DASH or Mediterranean diets on their own. It is tailor-made for your brain.
Section 4. Foods recommended for regular consumption.
All right, let's get practical. I really want you to remember this crucial number, 6. You need a bare minimum of 6 servings of green leafy vegetables every single week. We are talking spinach, kale, mixed greens, the whole shebang. These guys are packed with those exact vitamins and nutrients we just talked about, the ones that directly feed your brain's synaptic plasticity. So, 6 servings a week, that is your foundation.
And here is another key metric for you, 3. You should be aiming for 3 or more servings of whole grains every single day. Plus, you need at least 3 servings of beans per week. Why? Because this combo provides that steady, slow-release energy your brain engine constantly requires, all without spiking your blood sugar.
Now let's see how this builds out the rest of your week. These are the other major do's of the MIND diet. Notice how, unlike a lot of other diets, the focus here is heavily on specific neuroprotective foods. You're going to want nuts about 5 times a week, and berries at least twice a week. Actually, berries have been scientifically shown to slow cognitive decline, which is pretty amazing. You also want poultry twice a week, and fish once a week. Oh, and olive oil? That should absolutely be your primary cooking oil from now on. And yes, you heard that right. A glass of wine a day is actually on the approved list. Cheers to that.
Section 5. Foods that harm brain health.
Okay, time for the tough love part. We have a very strict limit here, and the magic number is 1. You are allowed a maximum of just 1 serving of cheese per week. I know. Furthermore, you are limited to a maximum of exactly 1 fried or fast food meal per week. Look, I get that this sounds incredibly strict, but these specific foods introduce fats and compounds that actively hinder the neuroprotective environment you are working so hard to build in your brain.
Rounding out the don'ts, we have just a few more limitations to keep in mind. Red meat, capped at a maximum of 4 servings per week. Pastries and sweets are limited to a maximum of 5 servings a week. And butter or margarine really needs to be kept under 1 tablespoon per day. The researchers at Rush University found something absolutely crucial here. The level of your strict adherence to these rules directly dictates the actual neuroprotective benefits you get. Basically, the closer you follow this, the more protected your brain is for sure.
So we've seen how the brain demands this massive amount of energy, how very specific nutrients literally encode our memories, and how the Mind Diet practically maps out a shield against cognitive decline. I want to leave you with this final provocative thought to carry with you today. When you sit down to eat later, is your next meal just going to feed your stomach, or is it going to actively protect your mind? The choice is entirely on your plate. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, happy healthy eating.